Hope I didn't just jinx it for myself. Famous last words, bud. Famous last words. My nerves have been acting up when I first stepped back into the classroom. Made even worse when I was hit with another flashbang. After my 20 other classmates had finished laughing, Mr. Yonikin made a show of waving a freshly taken photo from a fancy fold-up camera from the 70s. I dub this portrait D'étudiant sans puis. I apologize in advance if my pronunciation of the French language ain't the best. After he'd thumbtacked the shot on a corkboard filled with poor snapshots of everyone else, Mr. Yonikin reassured me and sat me right next to Ben. He managed to sum up his syllabus in under a minute, instead taking the majority of the time to go over our first assignment and offer our first lesson and assignment on exposure and lighting. With each new light fixture he brought out and explained, I felt my mind swirl faster with new possibilities of old shots. If only I had that then, or if I could have used that there. Now that you've had a small taste of it, we'll start on your first photography assignment. Proper lighting. I'm salivating at the thought. Mr. Yonikin had just finished his first lesson where he'd handed out all sorts of equipment to look over. It's the first time I've handled some of these things, like the enormous box light that was still taking up the entirety of my desk. Remember, though, that these are just tools meant to enhance the photo. You can highlight a turd all you want, it's still a turd. The crude language guarantees a chortle from the few half-listening students. The teacher looks over to the clock and hums. Well, I see that we managed to finish this lecture a tad bit early. Why don't you all take these last 10 minutes to compare notes, maybe even consider doing the assignment as a collab piece with a classmate? The room is quick to fill with the sound of chatter. I wonder if Hey! I turn to Ben and see his eager grin. Do you want to do a joint piece, since you don't know any good spots in the school and all? I pull out the assignment sheet from beneath the lightweight light on my desk and give it a quick scan again. Present a set of photos demonstrating your understanding of proper lighting. You are allowed to borrow one lighting tool and must take the shot on school premises. And I swear I've handed out this assignment for years now. If one more student just takes a picture of the hallway outside the classroom, I'm going to personally throw them over the railing. Be original, please. That sounds perfectly doable. I've got the perfect place for it. If we work together, we can even use 2 items. The offer is too tempting. Sure. I hold out my hand and Ben takes it and shakes it, sealing the pact. My face is feeling weird from all the smiling today. But in truth, I've been enjoying Mr. Yonikin's class so much that I couldn't stop. It feels like I have the entire world to gain from Mr. Yonikin's lesson. And the entire world to explore, seeing as ever since the move, I hadn't had time to actually explore Vol Caldera Bluffs. Sure, on occasion, I go out on my own to parks and stuff, but who doesn't? Besides, I'd be a pretty lame photographer if I didn't go out and find stuff to photograph. And you know what? I've been meaning to do a little looking around here. So, to everyone else, this assignment makes them have to explore the school, but I get to. A pretty sweet deal if I do say so myself. The hall outside the classroom is only one major photo op. Between that and the murals outside, I'm certain to find something cool. No, murals won't work on their own. Since it was my first thought to use them, that means it's likely someone else's first thought. I need to think outside the box a bit. Maybe think of some way to use the school's architecture to my advantage in a way that... Inko! My thoughts are disrupted by a worried-looking Ben. Maybe you should see a doctor, man. Head injuries are no laughing matter. I'm fine. What were you saying? I was asking how you were doing. You know, with school and classes now. Oh, right. Doing good. Really good, actually. I'm in a class that I'm 100% enjoying, and starting to make some genuine friendships. Compared to the disaster of yesterday, today's been astoundingly positive. That's good to hear. Yeah, I've even got some friends now. Great. Oh, and what about your art submission? Was Liz able to help? There's something nibbling at the corner of my thoughts at the mention of the long-necked girl. Yeah, she gave me my login stuff and everything. Uploading the submission was a piece of cake after all. Awesome. Though that does make you competition now. Both Liz and I have pieces in the running too. She told me she'd submitted something, yeah. I'm a bit concerned since I didn't have as much time at all to prepare anything, but... Hey, everyone's got a chance. You never know. Yeah, she was pretty cool about it too. That whole friend group is pretty welcoming. I think I'm pretty lucky. Lucky? Ben seems perplexed by my statement. Well, you said something at lunch when Olivia vanished. I'm noticing for a silent paraplegic, she sure has a lot of people upset. You've got some hidden drama with her too? No, not really. Wait, two? Who? Miss Yannick, yeah, Miss Yannick show up. Yannick calls out to us, striding over to inspect. I take it you gentlemen are conversing about your assignment together? Of course, Mr. Yannick. We were just discussing where we'd take our picture. Right, Ben? Well, that's good then. Good thing you guys weren't talking about something off topic like gossip. That would be a pretty embarrassing use of your time right off the bat, I think. Especially considering you're currently the subject of some fairly humorous gossip yourself, aren't you, Mr. Nito? I'm awash in a wave of shame from his words. I look at Ben and I can see he feels it as well. If the air around someone needs clearing, clear it yourself. Yadakin has a point. Maybe once a friendship is established, I can learn more about her. All right, off you go. And remember to get your assignment done by the end of the week. The room empties out slowly, most of my peers still chatting and discussing their plans for the assignment. Before I can continue talking with Ben about our own project, the Stuco president is already packed up and exiting the room. Guess we'll talk later then. Packing up my own notebook, I wave goodbye to my new favorite teacher and head off to my next class. Walking into history class for the first time, and it's about what I expect it to look like. Pictures of historical figures, small relics from various regions, and cartography of the Earth during its stages of continental drift. Though I notice there's a distinct lack of a teacher in the class. Must be finishing up their lunch, I assume. Well, better get a good seat now before they're all taken. Eeny, meeny, miny, this one. I settle myself into my chosen desk and pull out my history book and notebook, along with a pencil. As the classroom fills with more and more students, it becomes a blur of vibrant scales. A few minutes pass, and I'm still wondering where the teacher is. The suddenness of the door slamming open stops any and all noise. It's quite enough to hear a pin drop. The figure walks into the classroom and... Oh, sweet heaven, no. Yeah, coach! He stands there and stares down at everyone, menacingly. He's the history teacher, too. Thanks for walking me into my classroom, Solly. Of course, Miss Brogling. Oh, thank Raptor Jesus, he isn't our teacher. The Raptor woman adjusts her glasses as she scans around the room before looking down at the paperwork in her hands. Looks like we'll have some late arrivals, but let's get down to business. I know that I introduced myself yesterday, but for any of those who weren't here... Her momentary glance at me makes me believe Solly told her about my absence. My name is Miss Brockling, and this is history class. In this course, we'll be learning about the history of our primeval ancestors and their advancement through history. You can even say it'll be like going back in time. Doesn't that sound exciting? Despite her admittedly forced enthusiasm, everyone in class responds with uninterested murmuring. Not sure why, though. This all sounds exciting. She walks over to her desk and places down her pile of folders before flipping open her own special version of the history book. With a click of a button, she also turns on the projector to reveal a prepared slideshow for today's lecture. Sorry, I was imagining the her special version of the history book is just one of the books where you open it, has like a space for like a gun inside. Uh, to learn about the extensive history of Saurians and their culture is something I've yearned for. If you can turn your books to page 36, we'll begin with the first chapter detailing the earliest interaction between Saurians and hominids. Ooh, that sounds interesting. I think I jinxed myself. Ms. Progling's history class is the polar opposite to Yodekin's photography class. While her introduction to the class engaged me at first, things have slowed down to a unbearably slow crawl. My eyes scan over the introductory text of the first chapter. Despite the tension between the two groups, human settlers to the New World would continue to make overtures of trade to the native Velociraptor tribes. Pretty sure I've read this line 3 times now. I tear my eyes away from the page in the hopes of blinking the boredom away. I look up to see the teacher staring down at various papers on her desk with laser focus. I must have stared too long, though, because I end up locked in a staring contest with Brockling. She raises an eyebrow at me. Yeah, okay then. Right. Write down the notes of pages 3 through 7 about the discovery of the New World. Without even fully comprehending the words before me, I'm copying the page down to the letter in my notebook. Absent-mindedly, I begin to recall everything that's happened so far with my new classmates. Ben carries himself with a lot of refinement, and is easily my first pick as a photography partner. But that Mia girl, she doesn't seem to want to make friends. Of course, I could have figured that out from the cold look she gave me yesterday, not to mention the rude hand gesture. Damien's very friendly, even if he can be a bit too enthusiastic sometimes. And though my encounter with Liz was brief, I can tell she's dependable. My progress in making friends has been pretty good, all things considered. But then there's Olivia. So far, she's still an enigma, and coupled with the apparent history she has with the others, it makes me all the more curious about her. Liz said it would be a bad idea to get invested, but in the end, it's effectively gossip and hearsay. This had come as something of a shock to me, but... And what do we have here, Miss Alfred? The sudden voice of Miss Prockling snaps me out of my thoughts. I lean my head to see the teacher looking down. Wait a minute, Olivia's here too? As luck would have it, I share not 1, but 2 classes with Olivia. I must have been so jaded from trying to read this textbook that I didn't even notice the girl in the wheelchair. She sits in the front row, diagonally in front of me. And I don't think she's noticed this strange twist of fate herself. Only the second day of the school year, and already doodling in class again? She proceeds to pick up the piece of paper from Olivia's desk. Looks like she's been drawing on it, though I can't tell what they are from where I'm sitting. Listen, Olivia, I know history isn't the most exciting subject to learn, but could you at least pretend that you're taking notes? The only response I hear from Olivia is a heavy sigh before leaning her head back down. While the teacher returns to skulking about the room, Olivia hunches over a notebook. Although I don't think those are notes she's taking. No one would do something like that with a totalitarian teacher patrolling the room. It's an attempt to get us all to focus, but I'm fighting a losing battle to keep my eyelids from shutting. My jaw is clenched tight to suppress the loud yawn building inside, even as Miss Prockling skulks right past me. Just before my drowsiness can overtake me, though, I notice minute movement in the corner of my eye. One of my classmates glances up at the teacher, whose eyes are roving over the opposite side of the room and down to scribble something down. The paper is then folded into a neat little note, and I watch as the next person carefully unfolds the sheet and also scribbles on it, before folding and passing it along again. Curiosity thoroughly piqued, I wait anxiously in my seat for the paper to get to me. It's a dangerous game, passing the note along so Prockling doesn't see. If I'm participating, does that make me a slacker? A student to my side makes his move to toss the note over. But Prockling starts turning around right then. He flinches and drops the hot potato on my desk in a flash. I nearly slam my own paper over the page to cover it from sight. Miss Brooklyn continues to lecture about how the raptors and humans eventually started to get along because they traded narcotic leaves or something like that. Hey man, no matter what, you gotta take a puff from that peace pipe, brother. And as you can see on the board here, now I lift my paper. Luckily, there's plenty of space left. As for what everyone else has drawn, a not-so-solid attempt at a race car, rough sketches of some eyes, a bunch of doodles, names in various stylized fonts that I could only describe as graffiti, and, of course, it's not high school if someone hasn't drawn a penis. Ms. Prockling with stink lines coming off her. Yeesh, better not get caught with this. That being said, I'm drawing a blank. What should I draw? I don't exactly doodle every day. Drawing stuff for others is a nice gesture. Maybe I'll try to break the ice a bit. Although I don't really know anything about her. Hey, can't hurt to try though, yeah? I can think of a few things to sketch here. Let's see. Oh, I have to actually... Yeah, I forgot about that. How do we break the ice with a sketch? Okay, hear me out. Let me think. It's gotta be... I got it. I got it? Yes, I got it. I got it. It's great. It's wonderful. Wani get to know ya. Right? Excitement. And we're gonna make sure that they know it's us. Hold on. Back. Undo? Okay, let me think. So we gotta draw Inco. So we got ear. Jaw. Nope. Jaw. And then, no, not quite that. Jaw. Up and around. That's a bit weird. Up and around. Good enough. Nope. I don't like any of that. You know what? We're just gonna draw sunglasses at a little bit of an angle. And then we'll do like ear. Because this isn't worse. We'll do that. We're just gonna fill this in enough that it... And we'll do like that. And then we'll do big old smile. Oh boy. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's actually awful. Hey man, you know, I never said I was an artist. But the sad thing is I can actually draw pretty good, just not at all with the mouse. It's so bad. But you know, oh no. No, you know what? We're gonna get rid of that. I don't like it. I hate it. Cool. I had a better idea. We'll make a reference. 10 points if you can guess what it is before I get done drawing. Believe it. Lieve. Right here. Yeah, believe it. Okay, yeah, we're done. And done. I didn't have a lot of room to really work with, but as I surreptitiously admire my work, I find that I have a long way to go. Hey man, relax. It feels like I'm being mogged by the other doodles. Alright, Olivia's sure to like this. Ms. Prockling is still turned around, alright. If I slip the paper over Olivia's shoulder, I won't have to get up and risk getting caught. And here we go. It's a bit tricky, and I hesitate, but the paper meets its destination. She doesn't even look back, just takes the paper eagerly. It's completely different from how she was acting earlier. Her tail is even swaying side to side. Oh, is that wagging? Huh. Alright, now she's gonna see my sketch and possibly think I'm cool. Oh yeah, bud. Oh yeah, hitting her with a believe it. That's the fast track to Cool Town, buddy. And she's not turning around. Well, it's not much, so it could also just... I'll be taking that. Miss Brockling snatches the paper from Olivia's claws. She holds her arms out. She takes a glance at the paper, and a small crack of a smile appears on her face before going back to its stoic visage. So, this is how you view me, Miss Halford? Brockling holds the paper up for all to see. Everyone in the class does their best to avoid her persecuting gaze. I know that most of you were a part of this as well. Look, I'm not asking for much. Please do your assignments when you're in class. It's the least you can do. You're just passing a note one at a time. She wasn't even paying attention. Yeah, how come all of us are in trouble? I noticed Brockling looking down at Olivia for a moment before letting out a sigh of defeat. Look, since it's only the second day, I'll let this one slide, but I'm warning you now that I won't be so lenient the next time it happens. Otherwise, you'll end up like the last student who decided to be disruptive during class. What happened to him? Get a detention slip or something? Miss Brockling pulls up the window blinds and pushes the window screen open. She then takes out a walkie-talkie. Solly? Yep, another hippie. Seat H4. Good job, soldier. Now, if we can, let's continue. I don't know, dude. I'd probably need a second. We're on the second floor. Oh, yeah, they're on the second floor, and this man pinpoint shot somebody with a dodgeball. Oof. I sink back into my seat and continue writing, mainly out of unadulterated fear of experiencing the same wrath from the teacher. Man, now I feel guilty for Olivia. You imagine if Olivia just got decked by a dodgeball? Oof. I was the one to pass her the note, after all. Maybe I shouldn't have tried. Well, I can always apologize after class. Miss Brockling places the note and continues with her lecture for another half hour. With 10 minutes of class left, I see Brockling look at the clock above the door. I then notice Olivia grabbing her attention, and as if she knew what she's already going to say to her, the teacher nods her head. Olivia grabs her backpack and shoves all her things into it. In silence, she wheels herself to the door, opens it, and rolls out. The teacher must have noticed me watching her leave. Accommodations. Well, there goes my chances of saying sorry to her. Feeling defeated, I decide to focus on writing down my notes for the rest of the time left. Although I do wonder. She must have noticed my doodle. Did she just ignore it then? Class comes and goes, and I head back home on the metro. Another day, another dollar. Although this time I pass on the mini breakfast burritos. After how bad they messed me up during PE yesterday, I don't want my stomach to endure that torture again. Instead, I just got a few hash browns from a fast food joint by the metro. I idly scroll through my feed, as I usually do, while the metro jostles about to my destination. It's been a few days now, and the strange scent of extremely cheap detergent and alcohol have become an afterthought. Some of the vines are actually plastic, and the flowers are little air fresheners. That's not actually something I noticed, more so witnessed when a passenger tried eating one. Some of the vines are real, though. For some reason, they go untouched anyways. Maybe they're just not tasty. Vegetarians don't eat the grass in their lawns, after all. Right? Huh. Anyways, the lights have gone out and someone just dropped a wrecking ball next to me. Must be Mr. Ferris. Good morning, Echo. Good morning. Has work been going fine? It has. Slowly, but I'm very thorough. I hate the idea of a place of learning not being an ideal place to learn. And I appreciate our talks. Your perspective has really helped me understand the student body more. You're welcome. Hey, have you given any more thought to the fashion thing? I have, although I can't say I really get it. There's plenty to see everywhere if you just look around. Really? Like what? Well, look at the girl in the at the other end of the car there. It's rather revealing. I don't think that's really for me. I love my wife. Aw, buddy. I just mean as an example. Well, there's an event coming up. I could see about trying something new. What would you recommend? That's a good question. What would be good to use here? In my inner eye, I conceptualize the coolest possible Ferris. The fresh machine is going full throttle. First, sunglasses. His eyes may be a little too far apart for that. However, beanie. And moving on. Big guns, fresh jacket. And a completely new hairstyle. There we go. The coolest possible Ferris. Mr. Nito. Sorry, just thinking. Why don't you start with... Let's see. Radial frosted glass. Gym room sunglasses. Cotton refab beaming on the 27th. No. We're going with the Malcolm seasonal cross print jacket. Okay. Really now? Those all sound rather expensive. Yeah, they are. You know what? Try a gold chain necklace. A what? Yeah, just make sure it's appropriately sized so it doesn't look silly. I'm sure it would go a long way, and they're pretty cheap to get. Well, alright. I'll take your word for it. We sure talk about fashion a lot, though. Is that really all everything's about these days? No, of course not. What do you want to know about? What's YOLO mean? I've heard the term thrown around recently. That was like 5 years ago. Oh. A little behind on the times, bud. Mr. Ferris and I talk more about contemporary urban slang until we arrive at our stop. Art. Mr. Yannikin had just started talking about our first project for the class. As soon as he'd said the word, Olivia's hand had shot up. Her gray eyes sparkled in excitement, and a smile threatened to crush the perpetual frown etched onto her snout. The girl vibrates in her seat as she waves her arm in the air, trying to get the teacher's attention. Yannickin's own smile was strained, as he and Olivia engaged in a staring contest with one another. I could only marvel as the two argued with each other without a single word. Eventually, Yannickin won by turning off the lights and turning on the cheap projector hanging from the ceiling. And playing a safety video about paint that felt far too graphic for a school setting. I don't think I'll be able to eat barbecue for a while. Thoroughly defeated, Olivia crosses her arms and pouts in her seat. And that is why we won't be using any of the more exotic materials for any projects, Miss Halford. Maybe I should have just skipped breakfast entirely. I still don't see the problem. Once you've all had the proper safety handling course in the second semester, you'll be allowed to use oil-based paints. Until that time, however, all the assignments will require safer supplies. Now, since we've pivoted to this, might as well finish the full video. The grumpy Gator holds a hand to her throat, mumbling to herself as she grabs a metal flask and drinks from it. The entire display from her was mystifying, at odds with how Ben and Liz described Olivia. In fact, it kind of reminded me of me. I can understand why. After all, Yadikin is letting Ben and I use some of his equipment in photography. That thrill of experimentation, of new possibilities? No doubt that it brings a creative sparkle to her eyes. Eyes that fill with pure malice as they glare daggers my way. Oh, was I staring? Oops. Before I can offer an apology, she already has her hands on the wheels. She rolls up to Yadikin's desk. He leans forward intently. I can't make out anything that's said through the video, but going by the occasional glare back, it's not hard to imagine. Crap, I really didn't mean to offend. Yadikin notices I'm watching and motions for me to come forward. Slowly, I shift out of my seat and approach the desk. All right, is something going on here? Yadikin speaks in a hushed tone, just loud enough for me to hear over the makeshift matinee. Olivia's telling me you're making goofy faces at her. No, I said he's been staring at me all through class. Huh. It's weird, like he's never seen someone like me. Can't you move him to a different seat? Now, hold on a sec there, Olivia. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm sure this is just a misunderstanding. Mr. Yadikin. It's like she's a whole different person here. She fishes out a canteen of water and brings it to her mouth. You're given a lot of leeway when it comes to seating assignment, but asking for something like this? I just want him to leave me alone. She sips again. What's that about? Well then, Inko, you tell us. What's on your mind? Can't have disagreements between classmates this early in the year. I'm confused. I didn't know there was any disagreement between us. Well, sometimes the little things you do that you don't even think about that affect people the most. Anything like that come to mind? I shake my head. Olivia's glare doesn't diminish away from my field of view. I mean, I've been a bit curious about her since we sit next to each other, and I'm friends with some of her friends. We all sat together at lunch yesterday. Yadikin nods to himself thoughtfully. Sounds like he just wants to hang out, Olivia. Her face scrunches at the mere thought. Not really interested. He's distracting me from classwork. I want to watch the video without being gawked at. Sorry, I didn't mean it. Does that resolve the issue for you, Olivia? No. Want some buddy in this class? She goes to take another sip, but ends up turning the canteen upside down. All out. Olivia, you can go fill that up if you want. You won't be missing anything. The video's nothing you don't already know, I'm sure. Olivia eyes me suspiciously and slowly moves out the door towards the nearest water fountain. Yadikin sighs. All right. He leans back in his chair with his arms resting behind his head. Inko, I told you yesterday that if the air needs clearing, to do it yourself. Now she's in a mood because you were staring at her like a weirdo. And here I thought you two could get along. She even gave you that sketch she made of you. Truthfully, I'm impressed, but here we are. What's going on, big guy? Again, sorry. It's been a pretty busy few days. Yeah, I've gotten into a cool friend group. We're all gonna sit together at lunch. Olivia's there too. She didn't say much, but I got her a soda. I don't know why she's so upset at me. It's nothing personal, Inko. It's not? She's reticent, especially when it comes to change. If you're at her lunch period too, I can see why she'd be wary of you. If you don't mind me asking, Mr. Yadikin. Yes? Why is she so open with you? How do you mean? Just now, she spoke more in that conversation than all the other times I've seen her yesterday. I saw the canteen, I figured it's something to do with her voice, but it's surprising. Her water bottle is the other way around. It's unfortunate, but she just really rarely talks at all. And I guess she just really trusts me. I've known her since she was a freshman. She seemed to gravitate towards art and how I taught it, and soon enough I took her under my wing. But she lives with Damien, right? He's at the lunch table, and she still barely talks to him. Poor kid. Hope he's doing alright. He seems to be doing alright. But yeah, she's distant to everyone else. So much so, I keep hearing weird things about her. Yodikin leans forward in his chair, suddenly attentive. Is this about you gossiping with Ben yesterday? A bit. He showed up to the table and said something about her being the same after she left. Probably some drama there, but I don't want to pry. He nods. But also, Liz told me some weird things too. He stops nodding. I know of her. Is something wrong? No. She just said I shouldn't get invested in being her friend. Everyone's been real weird about it, so I was curious for myself. Guess that's why I was looking at her weird. Sorry. Yodikin rubs his temples. Aye. It's worse than I thought. What is? I'll put it this way. You've met 3 people that know Olivia other than me. Of the 3, only one thinks highly of her, and the other 2 start unloading drama on anyone willing to listen. In this case, you. No wonder you're confused. I hadn't thought of it like that. I don't blame you. You shouldn't be involved in anything stupid. High schoolers, you know? I guess. Yodikin inhales, collecting his thoughts. Important question, then. Do you really want to be Olivia's friend? Huh? I mean, I guess. A judging eyebrow is raised my way. Are you really, or just curious about her? He seems pretty serious about this. Yes, then. Olivia returns to class and rolls right back to the desk. Back. Have you changed his desk yet? Yodikin nudges his head towards me expectantly, prodding me on. I'm sorry I distracted you during class, Olivia. She looks to Yodikin and gets a similar nod. Sure. I mean, you're welcome. Thanks. Shit. But, no, really, I don't want to be distracted. Come on now, Olivia. The least you could do is give him another chance. You never know. I don't really want to know. I get he's, friends with Damien, but I don't really want to, not this class. But I'd like to be your friend. She stops and raises an eyebrow. Lots of those going around recently. Like she was expecting this response. She looks to Yodikin for help. Actually, Olivia, I also think he'd make a good friend for you. Ooh, that sparked a response. What? His words were like a battering ram. I'm simply saying to give Inko here a chance. I could almost see the imaginary bulwark she hid behind slowly crumbling from what Yodikin was saying. You are both quite similar at heart, though you may have different methods. Perhaps you'll find some compromise behind cynicism and naivety if you work together. Cynicism and naivety. Finally, the last fragments of her imaginary fortress collapse. Olivia can only look at the art teacher with timid confusion painted across her features. Well, I don't... Are you for real, Mr. Yodikin? I am. He's actually in another class of mine. I've seen him. He's passionate about his camera like you are with a brush. And I do expect great things from him. Okay. Sorry, I really thought, oh! Oops, she actually bit her tongue. Her mouth is clamped shut. It's just my opinion. You can make your own choices, Olivia. She nods furiously. Ooh, the movie's about to end. You two should get back to your seats. We good here? Olivia side-eyes me again and nods once more. All right. He motions for us to skedaddle. Olivia backs away to her spot. Thanks, Mr. Yatakin. For what? I just gave an opinion. I'm serious. It's up to the two of you if you want to be friends. Don't screw it up. He waves me off again and gets up to flip the lights. I love Mr. Yatakin, dude. He's the best. I get back to my seat and stare absent-mindedly at the projected screen as I digest Yatakin's words. He said he only gave his opinion, but it seems like he also gave me an opportunity to take the right steps in connecting with Olivia. And with what he said about her being passionate with a brush, it's gotten me even more curious about her artistic prowess. Speaking of whom, I notice that she occasionally gives me a side-eye. I don't think she can see my eyes due to the dim lighting combined with my shades. She stares at me with a sense of strange curiosity, almost as if she's trying to get a read of me from my face alone. But from what I can tell by her facial cues, she seems confused and almost shaken up. It's like she wants to say something, but keeps on backing away at the last second. Guess her mind is also jostling around from Yatakin's words. Our teacher flicks the light switch, and I feel my retina burn from the bright lamp lights, even with my sunglasses. Alright, normally in your first week we'd be doing something simple, like color swatch wheel. However, I think you all could manage something a bit more advanced. The Gator girl's head whipped around at the word advanced. Whatever Olivia was thinking before regarding me seems to be forgotten, as she focuses almost entirely on the teacher. Mr. Yatakin holds up a stack of paper for us to see. First things first, I'd like you all to fill out these topic sheets so that I know you understand how to safely handle oil-based paints. Last thing we need is another burnt-down classroom. The way Yatakin says those words makes me imagine some pretty horrible outcomes. Once you finish your sheets, bring them to me so I can review them. I'll be giving you the permission sheet after I know you lot won't set yourselves on fire or poison yourselves. The Allosaur guy in front of me hands back the stack, and I take a page from it before handing the rest to the Diplo girl behind me. My eyes scan over the sheet. What grade of mask do snouts longer than 3 inches require? And a realization hits me. I didn't see the first half of that video. My eyes scan over the page and I groan when I see questions I have no answers for. All of them pertaining to dinosaur anatomy. The art teacher looks directly at me, and then to the side. I try to decipher his meaning, following his eyes. Oh. I turn in my seat and lean closer to Olivia. Hey, what? What now? What now? What? I think it's more whining. What? What now? What? What is it? I'm not gonna let you draw me. What the hell? Looking at her paper, I see she's already answered the questions I couldn't. I show her my own page, tapping the upper section that was still blank. Olivia groans and looks to Yatakin pleadingly. All she gets for her troubles is a thumbs up. Like I said, Yatakin's the best. Fine. Fine. Here. She holds out her sheet for me. Wait, isn't this cheating? The art teacher wouldn't... When did he get to his desk? Why does he have a sleeping mask? This man went, I'm taking a nap. I don't see nothing. Well, if I look over the answers, I still learn the safety procedures. So what's the difference in the end? That must be what he's thinking. Either that or he doesn't care. I copy the words from Olivia's sheet, doing my best to at least rephrase them. Some of my classmates are already walking up to Yatakin's desk. He's barely reading the pages, not even taking the sleeping mask off. Thanks, Olivia. Whatever. Olivia finishes. She's still so angry. Olivia finishes her page in a few seconds and wheels herself to the desk too. That last answer I'm fairly confident on. Like what flashpoint means. I get up and go to Yatakin's desk and set my safety assessment down. Good. Here's your permission slip to use hazardous paints. He didn't even bother to look over my worksheet. He lifts the eye mask from his face and looks at me with one eye. What? Most of that stuff doesn't apply to you, Inko. Just don't drink the paint or get it in your eyes and you'll be okay. Yes, Mr. Yotkin. Attaboy, now go back to your desk and wait for class to end. Tomorrow, I'll be starting you all on something simple. Like painting a cube or a ball. Yeah, model dodgeball painting. Model dodgeball painting. The eye mask drops down and I return to my seat. The class clock reads 5 minutes until lunch. Olivia's back to leering at me. I consider what I should do or say some sort of icebreaker. Mr. Yotkin said we're similar, and I can see some of what he means. But I'm a photographer, and she's a painter. So a cubist and a datist walk into a bar. Bing bong. Have a good lunch now. The moment the bell rings, Olivia shoves most of her things into her backpack, not caring if her notebook gets crushed. Once she zips up, she races out of the classroom. Guess she doesn't want to get caught in the chaos of the lunchroom stampede. There it is. I managed to avoid getting stuck in the frenzy by shuffling along the wall the long way around the lunchroom. It's a bit longer, but at least there's less risk of getting used as an improvised meat club. Hey, why don't I just go in through the courtyard? It's right there next to the table. Damn it. Next time. Hey, is there a palm tree or something by the table now? Never seen one with a trunk that's green. I get around the last of the crowd and approach the table. Damien's here, chowing down on a sandwich stacked with various meats. And like yesterday, Olivia's already at the table. Hey Damien, you've seen Liz? I thought she was joining us for lunch. Without a word, Damien points to the palm tree next to us. Oh crap, that's no tree. I look up to see Liz's head in the rafters, prodding at the vines on the ceiling. The ceiling was a lot lower in the computer lab, so I couldn't tell as easily, but that neck is long. Anyways. Hey Liz. Hey Inko. Can't see you from up here till I heard you. Or couldn't see. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and get my food from the vending machines again. Making my way over to the vending machines, I do the same song and dance I did last time. A card swipe and a few button presses later, I earn me a couple cans of soda, 2 bags of chips, and a few candy bars. It's like when the teacher asks if you brought enough candy for everyone, only now it's true. I head back to our table, the bundle of foodstuff in my makeshift pouch, and distribute them. Olivia gets her share, but she doesn't say anything. Oh, sweet! Oh, why thank you, Inko. Damien, if you'd be so kind. Already on it. Damien cracks open a can of soda just as Liz lowers her head next to him. She's wearing a novelty soda cap. Hell yeah. Smarter, not harder. He then speed swaps the old can with the new one, almost like he's swapping wheels on a Formula 1 racer. Thank you. No problemo. Liz's head cranes back up to the top of the ceiling to continue eating the foliage. So, Nico, how's your day been so far? It's been pretty decent, I'd say. I'm mostly looking forward to photography, since Ben will show me some good photo spots. Cool, cool. Damien just nods as he continues to munch on his sandwich. I think he zoned out about halfway through my sentence. Oh, and also, Liz helped me submit my contest entry. Awesome! Can always rely on Liz to help you out. Flattery will get you nowhere, Damien. Just saying the honest truth. Liz entered the contest too, right? Everyone must be trying to win the cash prize. The money's okay. Liz comes down away with a mouthful of leaves. Her hands hold up a tray with each segment filled with different sauce. But the real prize is having your submission featured on a sponsor's magazine cover, and in a featured article. How is she still articulate? Do you have any idea how great that looks on a resume? Heck, I could probably get a scholarship down alone. Whoa, you really got all this planned out. What did you submit? She takes a moment to swallow her salad and then shares a huge grin. I submitted my best digital art piece. Ooh, what was it? Here. The tray is set aside so she can bring out her phone to show Damien and me her entry. It looks to be a village townhouse piece, very rustic and classy. It looks pretty good. Yo, that's so cool! That looks so realistic! Thanks. It took me about a week to really blend some of the more fanciful elements into each other. I based it off my grandfather's home from the old country. This is amazing! You can't even tell this whole thing's digital art at all. Damien grabs hold of Liz's phone and turns towards Olivia. Hey, Olivia! She jumps up, having suddenly made relevant to the conversation she was just spectating. What? I'm not giving these chips back, they're mine. What? I was just gonna show you Liz's entry. Olivia narrows her eyes and leans over to see the image on Liz's phone. She then looks up and gives Damien a quick nod before returning to eating her chips. Damien's smile falters a little at her minimal response, though he's back to his usual grin as Liz takes back her phone. Wow, Liz, I didn't know you were so into digital painting. That looks great. Do you plan on being an artist after graduating? Aw, thanks. Well, no, I don't plan on being an artist, per se. The plan is to be an antiques dealer, specifically with art. What's that mean? It means she buys the splattered canvases everyone else just uses for money laundering. No, it'll be the real deal stuff. There's a real market out there for it. So I'm taking the AP business class and using the school's prestigious art program. That's actually why I picked this place out. There's a real elite section of graduates from here. Oh, and you're the school treasurer too, right? Sure am. I'm doing everything to make sure I'm ready for the real deal. I do love painting, though. It's just not an ends to a means. Maybe that's why I want to get into trading. I can get the right people the right art they need. That's very thoughtful. Huh. I should start thinking of my future more. I wonder what Olivia thinks about this, if it even interests her. Damien is just exaggeratedly nodding his head up and down, and I don't know if he's agreeing with Liz or headbanging to some tune playing in his head. I look to the side to see Olivia staring down at the chips bag, looking pensive. Guess I'm not the only one that's a bit worried about our long-term plans after school, compared to Liz. But we got the whole year still. What about you, Damien? Don't really have a big goal set. Only reason I'm here is because it's the coolest school, or it's the closest school to our home. It's also the coolest school. Damien, you know I keep telling you about planning ahead. I know, but I like keeping my options open. So, what are you doing in school? I just picked out any classes that seemed interesting to me. Although I gotta say, home economics class is pretty fun. I get to make food in class and eat it too. From learning skills in a class like that, you'd be a perfect husband. Yeah. Wait, what? What? But to get back to my point, that art contest. If I win and get that interview, it's an insane advantage. I'll say. By the by, Olivia, did you submit something for the art contest? Oh? She looks away, slightly deflated. No. Really? Oh crap, I might have a chance then. Hey, Liz, that sounds a certain way. Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Olivia rolls her eyes and merely goes back to munching on her chips. Mr. Yotkin said you were really into painting, and I really liked the portrait of me you'd made. Whoa, she what? Her suspicious leer is now replaced by a murderous gaze. Yep, lunch is the perfect time to eat my feet. I haven't actually seen any of her real work, only something she'd done out of boredom. Olivia's eyes close as she inhales deeply, the air of neutrality returning to her once she reopens them. She looks me up and down again, as though something will be different this time. Can't. What's that mean? Besides, even if I could, they're going to be looking for the best artists here, so you gotta show that to them with how good your art is. But I just don't want them to look at me and feel like they have to give me a reward out of pity. Damien's face is frozen mid-bite, his sandwich losing its meat integrity by the second as his eyes flick between Olivia and I. I can practically hear the blaring alarm in his head as his brain catches fire trying to connect the dots. I want to be judged for my art, and not... Olivia struggles to formulate the next few words and lets out a weary sigh. It would just feel undeserved. How? Yeah, how? Damien? Shh. Has that ever happened before? Do people really do that? You weren't there for it. Some losers used to even tell me to take advantage of it. Why not? That was a bad move. Hey, you're telling me, buddy. Dude, seriously? Why? So I constantly get reminded of myself? So I can't separate myself from my work? So I can get complimented being worse so I can eventually rely on it? So the playing field can be even? That's a lot all at once. I'm not even sure I got all that, but I definitely touched a nerve I shouldn't have. No, sorry. Olivia brushes her hair down. Look, I don't want to get awards and praise I haven't earned. I'm seriously not that good. I really wouldn't win. She sighs and takes a long sip of cola. Can I see some of your work? No. Man, she really shouldn't put herself down like that. I get it. A lot of the students here are crazy good at art. Some are probably better now than I ever will be, and they're just starting. It's pretty scary to think about. I mean, like that landscape of the city near the principal's office. Landscape? Hold on, I took a shot of it. It's a bit tough getting my camera out now with all the books I needed for class in the way. I lay out the contents of my backpack, taking my treasured DSLR out at last. After finding the shot in question in the menus, I turned the display towards everyone else so they could see the glamour shot. A freshman made that painting. Just from the look of it, I can see why it won first place. I drew that. Oh. I mean, her name's on it, isn't it? My brain finally makes the connection with the signature on the mural. O. Halford, Olivia Halford. That was you? Is it that much of a shocker to you? Quite a bit, yeah. It looks amazing. I mean, it's whatever. Had to have some dumb guy to help me out, so it isn't like I was the one who did it all. So when you say you can't enter, it's because you already won once? Yeah, basically. She looks away from us, eating her chips in silence. I've heard the expression of being one's worst critic, but I never expect Olivia to kick herself this hard. I'm mentally kicking myself thrice over just thinking that last part. What? Something wrong, Liz? Did she bite her tongue or something? Why is she imitating one of those pitcher plants right now? Liz? What's with the look, long neck? Just surprised to see you in better spirits is all. You're making it weird. Don't make it weird. Yeah, it's been ages, Olivia. To think a Randy like Inky here got you to open up like this in just 2 days. He gestures to me. What did you do, man? The girl in question freezes, Damien's thoughtless comments having thrust her into self-awareness. Oh boy, Damien never change. And she just leaves. Olivia, wait! She's gone. Well, she did give a warning. Yeah, I was just excited she was making good progress. Poor Damien. The rest of lunch we'd spend trying to talk about Liz's art process. Damien looked like he wanted to try to bring Olivia back into the conversation, but had no idea where she had gone. Still, a part of me thinks she wants to talk. So, why doesn't she? Sadly, a question for another time, as Olivia's departure seems to signal the end of lunch. And that will also signal the end of this episode. At least, at least Liz and Damien wave goodbye, and so will I, as I catch you in the next one. Until then.